In the bustle that followed, a silver-haired gentleman emerged from the crowd and led a stout but handsome lady to the far end of the room by the empty knights. Couples, mostly older, arranged themselves geometrically down the grand hall. Music struck up, and the lead couple began the elegant ritual of walk, slide, and balance as the others looked on. Ashley took Parr by the arm. "Well, sir, didn't you want to dance?" she cried.
"Yes, but we have a while. They always play one or two really weird antique dances before the waltzes. It takes at least an hour after that before they get to the normal stuff. We have a long wait ahead."
"But why wait? Don't you know the quadrille?" persisted Ash.
"Well, we do. They teach us in phys ed when we're first formers, but I can't imagine you do. Unless you're not from Miss Wharton's, are you?"
Parr gave us a doubtful look. "No, but we do know our quadrilles. Which one is this? The coquette? The polo? The basket dance? Well, we can wing it. I mean, we will endeavor to improvise. Come on, the rest of the couples are starting to dance," said Ashley, stuffing her purse and wrap behind the nearest suit of armor. Parr let her pull him into position at the bottom of the room.
"Are you ready?"
said Ned, turning to me.
"I'm glad you showed up. For once I get someone good to dance with."
I tucked my things in beside Ashley's, took the arm he offered, and followed him off to join our friends. The Founders' Quadrille couldn't be more unlike 21st century dancing. Today, a couple or small group stands together, rhythmically contorting their arms, shoulders, torso, hips, and lower limbs. The point is to wiggle in harmony with one's companions while distinguishing oneself from the crowd by imaginatively displaying one's attractive parts, all the while avoiding, as far as possible, looking like a dork. Not so the Founders' Quadrille. Looking like a dork seems to be required. Another difference is the miles that the quadrille dancers cover. They step forward and back, spin, approach the opposite corners, return to the first spot. Often throughout the dance, Ned took my hand, walked me and turned me, bowed to me and acknowledged my curtsy. But often, too, I found myself face to face with some other gentleman, or arm in arm with a lady. With all this toing and froing, it was hard to carry on a conversation. I fell to musing about the voice of my mysterious stranger, Charles Grandison Parr. In the 6 times I'd seen him before, I had never once heard him speak. Even at the sports barn, he had merely bowed in silence. His voice, now that I heard it, was nothing like what I had imagined. Not a rumbling bass, but a strong, smooth tenor, full of caressing vowels that seemed to reach my very toes and fingertips. It vibrated through me as he talked disjointedly with Ashley, leading her through the steps of the dance.
"You never answered Grandison, you know," said Ned, giving me his hand. "Why did you crash the dance?"
Funny, he had the rattling bass voice I had imagined for Parr. Hearing it now, it seemed unsubtle. Why did I imagine Parr would sound like that? The quadrille separated us for a minute, leaving me time to think. I decided to tell the truth, or part of it, at least. "It was Ashley," I said as Ned and I slid to the right, then left. We were well matched as dancers, the same height so that our eyes were exactly level. Ash gets these ideas in her head. Last year it was marine biology, the year before it was candy making. There's no way to stop her, short of locking all the doors and windows from the outside. The dance carried Ned to Ashley's corner, where he turned her by the arm. For a breathless moment, I felt Parr's hand on my own arm and looked up into his eyes. Then Ned was back. "Ashley!"
Ashley's amazing, he said. I've never seen anyone dance the Founders Quadrille with actual enthusiasm. Not that I've seen all that many people dance it, he added after a foray into opposite corners, during which I gave my hand not to my hero, but to a middle-aged gentleman with a pot-belly from the next set of couples. Mostly just the older teachers and the girls from Miss Wharton's, and us, of course, when we can't avoid it.
I'm sorry to put you through this, I said, feeling a little hurt.
No, I didn't mean that, said Ned. This is surprisingly fun. He grinned at me. You're not so bad, for a girl.
The music drew to a close, and we made our bows and curtsies. As the four of us stood in an awkward square, wondering what to do next, the band struck up again. Hidden within what sounded like a waltz by Strauss was the tune to Take It Back by the Wet Blankets, a favorite of Ashley's for most of the summer, and not yet fully abandoned, despite her new interests.
Hey, Noodles, they're playing your tune, said Parr.
Oh, are you a Wet Blankets fan? Asked Ashley eagerly.
Yeah, I pretty much like them a lot, Ned said. Don't be so modest, said Parr. He wrote this arrangement. Ned's our school composer.
Really? I love this song, cried Ashley.
In that case, would you like to dance? Ned asked her.
This time it was Parr's turn to ask me,
shall we?
And offer his hand. Once the two of us were alone together, that is, as alone as a pair can be in a room full of dancing couples, my hero seemed to lose his suave. As for me, I had been tongue-tied from the start. Standing beside the magnet of my yearning, touching his hand, frantically sending signals to my toes to keep them from tangling with his, none of this was likely to make me articulate. I worried that my nervousness had infected my partner. The silence stretched out. Clearly, one of us had to say something. Parr began.
Haven't I seen you around town before?
I think so. At least, I know I've noticed you.
The sports barn, was it? Or the candy store? Didn't I see you with Samantha Lou?
Oh, that's right. She says you know her brother Zach. Are you another black belt in Nintendo?
I only wish. I'm blue, 3 down from black. That is, assuming you refer to kendo.
Kendo, right, kendo. Well, I'm clearly not a black belt in talking. At least not tonight.
Hey, don't you think it's getting kind of hot? After this dance, you want to grab a bite? They've got a bar set up by the parterre. Just chips and soda, but it's cooler there.
I nodded my agreement and fell silent again, internally kicking myself for my comments. Would Parr realize I had stored up every sighting like a treasure in my heart? Uncool. And that Nintendo gaff, what sort of marshmallow head would he take me for? Yet how handsome he looked as he was laughing at me. His smile crinkled his turquoise eyes and stamped a single dimple in his left cheek. And it was kind of him to change the subject and suggest going for food, as if he had sensed my discomfort. Or was he merely looking for an excuse to ditch me? With these thoughts, I waltzed myself dizzy in his arms. The dance ended. The couples pattered their applause. I retrieved my things from behind the armor, and Parr and I stepped out into the welcome coolness of the October night.